to talk Salt Lake City and, gossip.
Oh, I'm so glad to be here. I can't tell you. This week's like weird week for me because, well, for everyone, because it's a holiday on Thursday and most people have off Friday. So it's just like a weird free for all this week. So happy that the
Yeah,
shows are on. Just
I am too. I was afraid they weren't going to be playing anything, and I'm glad they are. You
me
know,
too. Usually they don't.
I know, and I think they realized that between what they did with BravoCon that week, where they were just giving everything they possibly could to us, it was just like, you know what? Let's give them something to talk about Thanksgiving week.
I need something to talk about with my family tomorrow.
Yeah, aside from let's talk about the husband.
Oh,
Uh-huh. And this isn't my plate, you bitch. I'm trying to come up with like all the ways we can ruin Thanksgiving with Bravo quotes. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna be
Um,
saying them the entire like time tomorrow from the minute I wake up.
yeah, absolutely. So, should we chat a little bit of the Bravo gossip?
Oh boy, yes.
hmm
Yes,
There's been a
yes.
lot.
There's
There's
a
been a
lot.
lot. Um, let's just start with Lindsay Hubbard and Carl Radke. You know that pairing. So Lindsay posted a video. It was in a slide, excuse me, where she ended up at the end of the slide because at first you could see kind of like how I have a neon sign behind me that says "Hi, besties." Well, Lindsay and Carl had a Rad House sign, neon sign in their apartment that they still share. And she ended up taking down the sign in a video, which good for her, girl. You take that sign down. And on top of that, she spent what would have been their wedding day going on a first date with Johnny Bananas, of all people. That kind of surprised me. I was like, why him? I mean, no,
Hey,
no offense to Johnny, but it was
maybe
kind of
it's the
odd.
personality. It's hitting right now. It's slapping.
I guess. And then, oh man, did you see this, Giorgio? I'm sure you did.
I'm nervous about
Where
which one you're going to bring up because I don't know if you've seen it yet or if you have.
uh, the Kim and Croy fighting, yeah, Kim and Croy
Oh,
fighting
that's not the
out.
one I was thinking of. It came out, I
Ooh,
think, today. Oh, I don't
oh,
even know
tell
if we
me.
can talk about it on this live. I mean, we can. It's just we got to do a trigger warning because Anne Marie Wiley's husband allegedly
Yes.
has some stuff from, well, it sounds crazy, but 29 years ago, allegedly, there was some
hmm
issues with SA and allegedly
At Columbia.
correct. So
Mhm.
that's interesting because I believe we're getting an episode of Beverly Hills tonight where I believe she may be introduced. So weird
I think
timing.
so.
Yeah.
It is. And just like Georgia was saying, Beverly Hills, Emery Wiley is our new housewife on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So, yeah, that's mm, we're gonna have to see what we end up finding out more about that because that really just came out today.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Kim and Croy, someone got a video of them yelling at each other outside. And at one point, Croy can be heard clearly yelling, "Now the whole world's going to effing know," which is, it can't be just the financial issues because then you also hear some sort of back and forth. And then again, you hear Kim yelling something, bitch. Yeah,
That's about
it's
on par for Kim.
yeah, sounds on brand. And now she's also being sued by Bank of America for unpaid credit card. I just, man, now I always say, God, please let me prove I would not be spoiled and a total brat by letting me be rich. My lips to God's ears. But the way she is able to spend money is like unparalleled. Um, money that isn't hers. Uh,
Well, listen, I am a firm believer in that uh, the more money you get only brings out who your true character really was.
mhm,
So if you are a good human being and have good intent, typically the more money you get, the more you help those around you or you do things to help people because you can.
right,
This situation is the opposite because Kim, well, it's very clear she has spent way more than she's brought in.
way
Way
more.
more. Okay. And Croy, yes, for everyone out there, it's like, well, what happened to his retirement? Well, guys, he makes what an executive assistant at a 9 to 5 corporation makes 74,
Mhm,
75 grand a year.
yeah,
You can't afford to live in that house and party with Wig when you only bring in 75K a year.
yeah,
But can
yeah,
I ask another question? And I don't
please.
understand this. This is a dead ringer. Instead of posting these like clickbait links,
Oh my god.
just do an OnlyFans. Just go and do it because you would at least bring in more money
Mhm,
than you got trying to sell those alleged DH gate handbags that you were passing off to people at full retail price, even though you've been pictured wearing them, even though it says never been worn.
right,
Like
mhm.
it's they're draining me. Can you
It
tell?
it
I am so sick of them both at this point with this whole they're together, they're not. They're who keeps leaking these videos, by the way? Brielle?
Listen, Brielle needs the money just as bad as they do. Last we checked, she paid that, electric bill. She said when
She
the
should.
yeah, the paparazzi caught her outside of LAX. Uh, it was someone who lives in the neighborhood. From what I understand, it was some kids who actually caught the video. And yeah, it's just kind of, I understand going back and forth, with your ex, especially the father of your children, but it's become almost like it's not even comical anymore. It's uncomfortable.
No,
And
it's a waste of resources. The amount of times that they've called 911, not
oh
just
my
the
God.
even in one of the police cam videos, Brielle's like, sorry, I have to keep calling 911. But and it's like, then stop. Call the regular number for the police station. Why are you
Mhm.
wasting resources on because your mom can't get her handbags out of the closet again? It's every video. Caitlin, I'm serious. It's always about Kim not being able to get them damn handbags and shoes and wigs out of the closet because Croy's blocking her, screaming at her.
Well, I just want to put this out there. There is a non-emergency phone number for
Yes.
the police department.
Google it.
Listen, they probably don't have internet at the moment. They can't be using up all that 5G,
Well, how do you?
Giorgio.
Well, Kim wouldn't be there because she needs something to try to get her Bitcoin transferred to go to a 7-Eleven and get the cash for it. She's got a
Mhm.
allegedly she's got a gambling addiction that's way beyond the fame or what a reality show. It doesn't matter if they brought her back to Atlanta and gave her $1 million, she would blow it before she shot her
Yeah,
first scene.
scratch offs.
And she would be like even further back because in her mind, if she's got money coming in, she's going to hit the gas pedal on the spend.
Hmm.
It's giving TLC, the
Yeah, and
network, not the group.
to be clear, while we're
Yes.
on the topic of Atlanta. Uh, so, okay, while we are on the topic of Atlanta, I made a TikTok video about this, but if you didn't catch it, there we've been hearing about the casting shakeup on there for a while. We know it's been needed, right? So it looks like, again, allegedly, that Sonia and Drew are being let go. But I mean, I feel like they kind of need Drew a little bit for something still. But the problem is, even if Drew were demoted to a friend of. She's not really friends with anyone in this group. So they couldn't even do that. Now, in the midst of all of this, we're all saying, what about Nene? We would love to see Nene back. Well, the interesting part is when Andy was asked at BravoCon about Nene, he said basically, there's room for everyone here. Our hearts are open, things like that. And maybe yesterday, I believe it was, we saw that not only is Bravo TV following Nene again on Instagram, Nene is following Bravo TV back, and Nene scrubbed all evidence of the Bethany Frankel podcast from her Instagram feed. I think, y'all, this is just my deepest hopes and prayers that we did get Nene back. And we have Danielle Peterson saying, bring it on, shake it up at Atlanta. I
Hi,
agree.
Danielle. Yes, I agree with this, and I do hope that it's why we're getting these signals.
Mhm.
Listen, I think that if anything, this got the attention of Andy, and at the
Mm,
very least, they can look at this as a business situation. This franchise it is in the tubes.
mhm.
Most of everyone on there that's OG is very expensive.
Oh, yeah.
They're bored, you can tell.
Mhm.
Marlo, as much as I want her to be a full time peach, she doesn't have the environment that's, in my opinion, good enough for her to bounce back and forth off of. It's either too toxic or it's too much of a reach that she's got
Yeah.
to be able to get camera time. And I just think that, yes, Drew may have a little bit more juice in her, but I'm not
Mhm.
interested only because I think she played the whole thing like this was a TV show. And
And it was
it's
like
not
it was scripted.
interesting. I don't
Yeah.
care about, listen, I don't mind diving into your projects a little bit, but you already have this other thing going on that's massive that we don't even know if it was real or for the show because it mimics literally the movie The Past that you did with Can't, like, so I'm not
Mhm.
interested in watching a VH1 overly produced reality show. I want to
No,
see the formula go back to what it was. And if it means bringing Nene home,
bring her home.
bring her home,
Bring
baby. You know what that would do historically to those ratings on episode one?
Oh my god.
Forget it. Forget it. The
Would
Nene
love
tribe would, even the ones that don't like her, would show up just because. It's that
Mhm.
crazy of a like 360 to go from where she was to then be in this lawsuit to then be blacklisted, Bethany, and then back at like
Mhm. It would it it would be I know you don't dislike Bethany the way I do, but it would be hysterical for this whole thing that Bethany thinks she's really done that hasn't done its thing and I mean the reality reckoning, right? Um, and with that, I think that it would show Bethany, look, if you really want to make a difference, you need to not make this a takedown of Bravo. You need to make it an actual reality reckoning. Make the changes with shows like The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, where we have seen problematic behavior on the end of production, at least behavior that did things that they should have done to step in, things like that. We wouldn't have had that show Unreal if, if The Bachelor and Bachelorette hadn't really stirred up some things and done things behind the scenes that were not ethical. So I think Bethany needs to stop making it a Bravo reckoning. And if she will make it a reality reckoning and she can learn this, from Nene possibly, please God, getting back into the good graces with Bravo, that would be incredible. Because yes, there are changes that do need to be made within the reality sphere. Yes, there should be a union. Yes, there should be residuals, things like that. So why not? go ahead and take it to where it needs to be rather than making an entire article with Vanity Fair be about just the drinking aspect and about Leah McSweeney. And the only part of we know I've gone over this article, but the only part of that article that gave us anything that we needed to know was Ramona's behavior. And guess what? There was we'll say consequences doled out. As we know, Ramona was not at BravoCon, and that was very important for her to be there with Ultimate Girls Trip Legacy coming out. So that was a huge step for Bravo. And JB says for Bethany, it's too personal. Agreed. That's what it is. She needs to take a step back and realize it's about more than just Bravo. Because sure, there's plenty of shit behind there. There are other spaces too that need that attention.
I think, to be fair to Bethany, I think the narrative in the press is Bravo specific, but I did go after the Vanity Fair thing. I did go to her and I did ask, like,
Oh,
and so to be fair to her, that Vanity Fair article was already being like it was a bigger thing than she was, and whatever happened at the editing, floor, I do think that it is making differences. I do know that behind the scenes, I've heard that it's not just Bravo shows. She's
okay.
trying to really create a system. Is it coming from personal crap? Yes. But that's how Bethany's always operated, in my opinion. She takes something that's super personal and she revs it up and she makes something out of it, whether that's money, uh, a nonprofit to help send relief, which, look, yes, I'm not on that side of the fence about Bethany. I'm very neutral and respect her in business, mindset, marketing, all that stuff. On some of the other things like this reality reckoning, I think we could totally see this getting worked out and then see Bethany back on Bravo.
Hmm.
You never
I
know. We've been in situations where her and Andy didn't get along or they were a little spatty and here and there. But like, is this probably the furthest? Yeah. But if they are able to reconcile with Nene, Bethany's, I wouldn't be
mm,
surprised if in a couple of years we saw a Bethany project on Bravo. I'm not saying that because I know anything. I'm saying, just saying, like, um,
Giorgio.
no, I'm saying, like, honestly, the way things have been going, I feel like, yes, I want to see that. This would be the perfect way to really showcase the conflict resolution in your shows by doing it with the people that you're having the conflict with, right?
That's actually a very good point. So I hear you on that. Also, so Alex Baskin went on the Two T's in a Pod podcast with Tamara and Teddy.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, it was asked, well, Alex, why was Teddy fired from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? Which is kind of awkward, but I also applaud them for going ahead and going for it. Because Alex is a producer over there because he's with Evolution. And he said it was because she wasn't comfortable in her own skin and she was too self-conscious. And I think that is the perfect description of how Teddy was. He did say, production always, had her back and that they appreciated that she'd say a lot of the things that people were thinking. But I agree completely. And it's the reason I bring it up is it's sometimes nice to hear that production can feel exactly what we are feeling and we are not as far removed as we think, because that's really what I felt it came down to with Teddy. Was she just, it was almost, the best way to put it is if you're in an acting class as an actor, your teacher will say you're watching yourself. No, you can't see yourself in the camera, but you're watching yourself. People who are watching themselves act are miserable to watch, and they may be amazing actors and they may be really doing the scene so well. But once they really have their internal mirror in front of them, it's over. It's over. The whole scene's over. It's screwed. it's screwed. So that's kind of how Teddy was. She was just constantly watching herself, is my best way to describe that. So I thought it was interesting to just kind of get that validation, I should say.
Makes total sense.
Hmm. So before we get into the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, they filmed the reunion
Woo.
on Monday. And I'm just going to share, I'm sure y'all have seen it, but just in case, the reunion seating chart. And for those who are not on video with us, obviously we have Andy at the center. And on, we'll say audience right, we have Heather, first chair next to Andy. Next to her is Lisa Barlow, then Angie K. And then Mary's at the end. On audience left, we have Monica, first chair. Then she's seating next to, sitting, God, Caitlin, next to Meredith Marks. And Meredith is next to Whitney Rose. So I found this very fascinating. One, Mary showed up and LD wasn't like pulling her by her hair to get that spot. LD, Linda, Monica's mother. And
Linda Darnell.
Linda Darnell, there you go. And so with that, we are seeing that Whitney is not on the same side as Lisa. And I find it interesting that they went ahead and put Monica next to Meredith. Meredith, as we know, she's the attorney. She was very impartial last year with Jen Shaw, things like that. I think that's part of why they went ahead and put Monica next to her because of the entire lawsuit between Heather and Monica. Obviously, something more is happening, like we already know, when they go to Bermuda. And the thing is, we know they're not going to be able to talk about the lawsuit, and it's going to be frustrating for all of us. So, what are they going to do? Lisa and Heather are most likely going to be going after every little tiny thing that happened throughout the season in place of talking about the lawsuit, because they have to they can't say that they can't say everything going on with her because it has not been settled, obviously. So with that being said, what do you think is going to happen aside from this when it comes to the reunion, and what do you think of this reunion seating chart that we have?
Um, so I think that the lawsuit thing is not really the big elephant in the room. There's other things.
Hmm.
And in talking with other people, I think that the lawsuit is the tip of the iceberg. And I think everyone's
Mm.
focusing on that piece. But I think apparently, allegedly, the season finale will twist everything for everyone. That's what I've been hearing. It's not what you think is like, I've been told it's not what you think or what people are expecting or like concluding in their minds what happens in Bermuda. So it'll be interesting to see what they actually do, because I don't know if you saw, or maybe did they mention how like Meredith followed Monica and like other people started following Monica?
No.
Mary, I think, started following Monica after the reunion. So I'm curious, because listen, guys, I know I've had strong opinions about Monica's behavior. I've heard other producers scream her name in bright lights. And yes, from a producer's standpoint, Monica is like being a kid in a candy store for a producer. She's
Hmm.
ready to share it all. She will throw whoever in there. She knows what it needs to be on the show. We understand that.
Hmm.
And that's something I really enjoyed about her when I first was introduced to her on the show. But
Hmm.
when we start diving into these, what I would like to say, allegedly, the produced moments with her and her mom and exploiting all the family stuff, okay, fine. Could you not have done that in a way that kind of spreads it out a little bit so it's not so like you're so reactive that I almost feel like, is that what people want to watch now? Because I do see people saying, yes, Monica, yes. But to me, I'm not aspiring or relating to Monica. In some capacity, I am. I was a
She's the
very reactive.
anti-hero, though.
Yes, she is not the packaged up
Hmm.
whatever. She does benefit the show this season. I'm not
Absolutely.
saying she doesn't. Listen, at the end of the day, this is black and white business. She's producing ratings for this show finally after seasons of it not getting, even with Jen Shaw's craziness going on in the background. Did we not see
Mm.
this much of an engaging audience? But now we are. So good for Monica, yes. But time will tell with
If
her.
she's
That's all
back,
I'm
yeah.
saying. Oh, they'll bring
Hmm.
her back. They'll bring her back.
Oh, no, I think they would bring her back, but if whatever comes out, let's say, if anything is too intense, too much, I don't know how else to describe it because I don't want to allege or allude to things, but I wonder if it's anything that she can come back from. But if she was able to show up to the reunion and do it, then I would imagine yes, there is because of the allegations and blinds we've been seeing. Oh, she took Lisa's ring, which I still don't think she did. Whatever anyone says, I don't, and maybe I sound like a Monica apologist, but I genuinely feel that Monica, not that Salt Lake City needed CPR, not in the way Atlanta does, for example, but honey, she gave it the kiss of life, and we didn't even know that it needed that kiss of life. She's beautiful, she is funny, she is polarizing, and that's exactly what you need in a housewife. It is.
Totally. I just need less of the produced
I
mommy
hear you.
moments. That's all. I no, I'm serious. I can even take I can deal with that, and I don't dislike her. Again, I don't. I
No.
see what she brings to the table, and I love it for the franchise, for the network, all of it. I just I will wait until the end of the reunion to assess where I'm at with her.
Okay, fair, fair. Should we get into the episode of Salt Lake City? This episode was hysterical. I say this every week and it just keeps getting funnier and funnier. I have a feeling it's going to take a different turn here pretty soon. So I just kind of enjoying the unhinged hilarity of it. Like Heather saying on FaceTime with her daughter that she wants to make a Mormon spin-off themed brunch, but make it fun. Listen, that's a sentence I really never thought I'd hear. A Mormon spin-off themed brunch, but make it fun. Nothing against the Mormons, but that just sounds like very odd. Um, it's very Salt Lake City. Then we go to Monica's house. This scene was interesting because I'll tell you, I know, because yes, this did feel heavily produced to me as well. I don't like to call out heavily produced scenes because sometimes I like to live in make believe land that all of it in every moment is very real. And I know it's not always, but I love make believe land. Okay. Um, when Monica's oldest daughter is sitting on the couch, we find out Monica was prom queen her senior year. And of course, LD has her crown. I don't know about you, but I was kind of surprised that Monica was prom queen because your peers have to vote on that. And not because, but if she was at all the way she is now and can be that polarizing, I felt like just fascinating. I don't know why. I'm always fascinated by who people were in high school because people either are very much always that person or they become the exact opposite, in my opinion. Um, so that was interesting to me uh, because then Monica shows Bree a picture of Monica and LD when Monica was a baby and she's pulling Linda's hair. And she's like, came out of the womb knowing. And she talks about going to Bermuda as a kid. And then she pulls out the photo album with her daughter's father, where she was pregnant, and tells her how LD trashed every photo of her own father after he left when she was 4, and that she wants her daughter to be able to see the photos of her own father. And Monica and her ex, I guess, Mike, who she married. She also married Bree's father, and obviously there was a divorce with that. But when she married Mike, the ex that she cheated on with her brother-in-law, so it's a lot of steps to get there. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um, Bree was one, and Mike adopted Bree, and so Mike's always been dad to Bree. And it was a bit eye-opening to hear Monica tell the story of when Bree was a baby and she was still with Bree's father, and he had left for work and found that Bree was playing with this plastic bag that happened to have opioids in it. And that's when she said she was done and she left. So good for her for getting out of that situation. At least we know Monica isn't purely reactive. She takes action in the best ways possible at times. Giorgio's looking around like, what?
It was a real tender moment.
It was. It
Showing
was.
her the same photos that she's already seen several times of the father,
Yeah.
but now being told, "This is yours. You can have it now."
Hmm. Yes, it was heavily produced. I get it. I get it. Um, but it was funny them cracking up that Vovo's dressed up for Bree's birth because and Monica says, "Well, of course Vovo's dressed up for your birth. It was her day." So, um, all I can say about the Sean and Angie dinner, it was awkward. Um, just, we all go through phases in relationships. Okay, we do.
Yes.
Uh-huh. So at Heather's house, I love that Heather
I
is
love
setting out
that.
Wendy's for Lisa.
I really wanted Wendy's in that moment. I cannot tell you how badly I wanted Wendy's when I saw the nuggets and all the like, ah,
I kind of wanted a Frosty to dip my
with
fries in.
fries. Oh my god, it's so
Yes,
good. Oh my
you
gosh.
have to dip your fries in it.
Wendy's slaps, you guys. It literally does.
Oh, we have
Hi,
Natalie. Hi,
look.
Natalie.
Hi, Fentero. Natalie's in the house.
Thank you for joining. So Lisa completely fucks up her car pulling into the driveway when she hit
What did
Heather's
she hit
a
though?
boulder.
Uh,
And production had to come over and look at her car, and she's like, "Oh no, I gotta tell John."
I gotta tell John Barlow.
And Heather's like, "Oh my god, this is not the best way to start off." She's like, and she says in confessional, "I don't even think my homeowner's insurance is activated yet. I'm gonna have to start a GoFundMe to pay for Lisa's Porsche." Oops.
Oh my god. That's
They're
so crazy. I'm still trying to figure out what she hit because I didn't
it's
see
a
anything.
boulder, I guess. I didn't see it. They didn't show it, but they talked about it. There was like some sort
Probably
of
for
boulder.
insurance liability.
I can just see the GoFundMe from Heather. Lisa Barlow's Porsche.
Or I can see Lisa Barlow's insurance policy going up.
Oh my God. This season has been hard on that Affleck.
My gosh.
Or the
Seriously?
general. Better call the general, Lisa. Um,
Could you imagine?
but they're joking about how they're in the bestie phase of their relationship. And in confessional, Lisa's like, Heather and I are in a new phase of our relationship. She's doing everything right. Like she's got all of my favorite treats here. I've got Wendy's with extra barbecue sauce, shortbread cookies from my favorite bakery. Literally, I like hope we can stay in this space because it's the first time in like 5 years.
Oh, she's
All you
so
need to
good.
catch a Lisa Barlow is Wendy's and shortbread cookies, it seems, and Taco Bell and fine dining.
Listen, it's a vibe. I love it. It's relatable, it's aspirational. You know what I like about Lisa? I mean, listen, I feel like she does a good job of being successful and like uppity with like her $60,000 ring and the this,
Mhm.
that, and the other, but she's not too frou-frou where it's like, ugh, I'm not eating Wendy's. Ugh, I'm not eating Taco Bell. Ugh, I'm not doing like she loves all the same stuff that most of us like, but maybe we don't have the other side of it. Maybe we can't just go blow 60,000 on a like fat diamond band to put on my middle finger knuckle.
Right. She's not Dorit with the wine glass versus the champagne glass, you know?
Dorit could stand to just do some like Wendy's and Taco Bell. She could.
She did dye her hair brown. That saves some money. Just saying.
Cut it where you can.
Yes, sir. And the hair is where it starts because that blonde is expensive, honey. The conditioner alone. So Lisa says she thinks Jack is ready to go on his mission to get away from her and John. But did you see this? That Jack was spotted at like a TJ Maxx in Southern California. And someone was like on Reddit saying, oh, he didn't even go on his mission. But then Lisa took to Twitter, excuse me, X, and supposedly the reason Jack's visa didn't get approved is because he sent a shirtless photo as one of his
Oh
pictures.
gosh. Of course. Of course. I also love that Lisa is like literally roasting him over the 90s like tips.
The hair. The
She is
hair.
like not having it. I would love to be a fly on the wall with her without cameras around just to see how much more of a like
The
Lisa
roasting.
Barlow she is. No, I could hear her being like, why would you? Oh my
Why did
God,
you do your
Jack.
tips blonde?
Jack, no one does that anymore.
I mean, I mean, like, I don't get it. And he's like, fudge, normal colored hair, mom.
Like,
Honestly.
oh man.
But Heather brought up Bermuda and she tells Lisa that she told Monica she needs to apologize to Lisa and that Heather isn't really trying to pull this like bitch move with Lisa for the trip, especially it being, Monica's birthday and all of that. And Lisa ends up saying, I don't need an apology from her. I'm just not interested. Um, so then Whitney and Angie go to lunch. They mostly talk about their marriage struggles, and Whitney tells Angie how she and Justin had a moment last year where they weren't sure if they still wanted to be in their marriage. And then immediately the next scene where Whitney and Justin go on Meredith and Seth's podcast. This basically came down to the fact that Whitney and Justin have a good relationship, that they're there for each other, and they've just been going through a difficult time. Okay. Love how we're just getting to the meat of it.
Mm-hmm.
The Pioneer Picnic. Giorgio, this picnic, brunch, picnic brunch, whatever we want to
What
call it.
in the sister wives in
So bizarre.
the churning the butter? Meredith Marks better have some arms of steel after she shook that thing the entire
I am
time. I think she shook it while she ate as well.
I almost feel sorry for Seth at this point.
It like never stops with Meredith. She's like a robot, and you have to like turn it off because it's like someone went and pushed the button that just is like.
He needs some anti-chafing ointment.
Oh gosh.
Band-aids maybe at this point.
Well,
Wrap that thing in gauze and call it a
Seth
day.
wasn't perfect always, so he gets
No.
what he gets.
You know what? And if that's your thing, that's your thing. Was Heather wearing her jacket that she got in Palm Springs?
Yes, that ugly jacket.
That like motocross.
What was that outfit? What were you doing? What is going on? Did they just call her that day and was like, we're gonna do this Mormon brunch today? And she's like, shit.
Well, yeah, because she also said, like, what the Mormon culture is so rich here, like, how do you think I was able to get bonnets and aprons on such short notice?
But why didn't you get dressed for it?
I mean, because you saw how Lisa rolled up. She looked
Everyone dressed
fabulous.
up.
Yes.
Except for Heather, which is weird because I'm like, what are you giving with this jacket and bonnet exactly? Because that doesn't go
Honestly,
with Mormon.
if it weren't
Not
for the
that they
fact
don't
that
wear bomber jackets, but it's just the leather
no,
and the different canvases, patches. It's awful.
and the skirt was random. It had random patterns. It was almost like
Garbage. Burn it.
you heard
I
it.
threw them in the garbage.
Yeah. because you know what my favorite cookies are? They're pinoli cookies. Um, if it weren't for the fact that she had already said, like when she walked up, oh, I was worried the weather wasn't going to hold up for us, I would have been like, oh, she must have just grabbed that jacket out of the back of her car. She was going to Goodwill, going to donate it back to society and threw it on. But no, she already thought the weather was going to be bad. So this was a choice.
Oh no, she loves that jacket.
She does. She does. Um, and Lisa is absolutely appalled that they're doing costumes again. And when Heather's like, it's to bond over our shared heritage, and Lisa's like, that's not my heritage. It's like her little asides just absolutely kill me sometimes. And Whitney shows up and she's like, what the fuck? In confessional, Whitney goes, you wrote a book about leaving the Mormon church. Why are you going right back to where it started? As long as we are not making vows, I can go along with this. I think. Yes, you're going to make vows while you shake the butter in a pornographic way. That's exactly what's going to happen, Whitney.
I I have no words for her sometimes because it's like, hello, are you are
It's
you in there?
knock, 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 knock. Is it, why can I hear an echo on the other side? And that's not a blonde joke. It's a Whitney
And
Rose joke.
this is the same Whitney, by the way, that was reprimanding Lisa Barlow and her. We don't talk like that in this house because
Yeah,
when we're yelling, he can't decipher if we're yelling because we're mad at each other. So we don't talk like that in this house when our kids are here. We don't talk like that because it makes them think we're fighting.
They think we're at each other's throats, and I want to make sure you understand. So I'm going to keep talking to you like this for about another 10 minutes.
It just always sounds like she's about to complain about something to customer service, and sometimes I can handle it, and sometimes I'm like, "Oh God, what do you need? Yep, let's exchange it for you, hun. Yep, just exchange it for her because I don't want to hear the
just do it.
story anymore."
Give
Yeah,
her the
so
refund. We're done. Put it back
yeah,
on the Amex. We're not talking about it anymore.
Taylor
Uh-huh.
Armstrong enough.
Enough.
So Monica shows up and she's like, hi, Lisa. And Lisa just straight up ignores her and she just kind of goes, oh. And Monica in confessional is like, I woke up today and decided to choose peace. So, yay. Happy to be here. And I was dying when Angie shows up and sees the bonnets and the aprons when her hair is up in this sleek, chic bun. How dare you? Look at my hair. She looked like little Bo Peep once they got her all done up with that pink fur. That wasn't fair to do to her. It wasn't.
She was, yeah, no. Mm.
It wasn't fair. Why'd you do that to Angie? Angie is a gorgeous woman. Okay, just don't make her wear the bonnet. They should have just made her put on the apron or something.
She literally looked like she was about to get back into her carriage when that brunch was over, though. I was like,
Oh,
y'all
not without
did
the speed
not.
bubbles.
If she didn't have, listen, this is why hold on.
I knew it was coming.
Where are my other ones? I'm gonna wear these. I think she's worn these.
He's getting his, I swear to God, when
This
you
with a
pulled those up,
pilgrim hat. Fabulous.
I thought those were upside down when you first pulled them out, but nope, they were right side up.
Oh yeah, no, I often have to check with those because they look like they could be upside down.
Yeah, they have a
So-
little extra rim. Those sunglasses that Giorgio just pulled out, his own Angie K version. Mhm. So they end up cheersing their alcoholic drinks together, and Lisa says, "Wait, what did they say in pioneer times?" Lisa, Mormons already don't drink alcohol, not now, nor did they during the pioneer times. There wasn't some sort of like, I don't know, ahoy that they they did when they
I know.
cheered.
What?
It's not like
Not amen.
you're not in Italy doing an Italian cheers.
She's really trying to make it very like chic. Like it's like there was some like European like
Mhm.
like it just she makes me laugh because I really do believe that she really thought that they perhaps cheers to each other during the pioneer times after a long day. Like, ladies, we fucking did it today. Again, nobody was tossed off the horse and buggy.
Not yet, at least.
Not yet.
So we get that like pornographic scene of the women shaking the butter.
It was so funny.
And again, back to Meredith. She says Meredith doesn't want to stop shaking the butter.
She
And in
loves it.
confessional, she says, I raised my children. Once you start something, you better finish it. I don't see any butter on the table. That's what it was about. Got it. Got it. Again, I'm just like, I'm worried about Seth. Is he still completely attached with everything he came into
Wait,
this world with?
what would happen if there was no butter on the table at Meredith's house when dinner was ready, though? What's that conversation?
You keep churning. Hmm.
I'm just talking about the country crockett. Like, if that's not out,
Oh,
are we gonna have a back and forth? I feel like she's someone that would be like,
uh-huh. I'll tell you exactly what would happen. She'd say, You can leave.
and I would absolutely run out of that door and never return if someone screamed like that.
Hmm. Because she would
I
be going
would.
and getting security. Security.
But
Uh,
shout out, did you see the waiter? That was
Chad, was that his name?
hilarious. Good for him.
Yes, you take those 15 seconds, honey. I love it.
You
I
better
love
eat it
that.
up.
Mhm. The dolls were creepy. Very odd, very odd, very odd.
What were
Some of
those for?
they were supposed to be like the dolls that the pioneers would make out of like pine cones
But
and
like just for the sake of like a doll to play with, or like,
yeah, for the little kids.
okay.
Mhm. Some of it I think was very like the names and some of it I was a little lost and I think it was more so like again Mormon culture that
Or
I don't know.
were those names tied to like like characters in the Mormon book?
I, great question. Once Lisa Barlow finishes reading it, we'll
I
ask
will
her.
ask her. She may have finished it by now. I'll DM her.
Maybe. We'll find out. Monica's doll is Molly Mormon and has a scarlet letter to remind all the pioneers on the trail, since all of you are goody goodies, that this really is what the church is about, which is forgiveness and welcoming the black sheep into the fold. I think, okay, at first I was like, well, damn. I think she was trying to say that their dolls were the goody goodies. This is, again, not me being a Monica apologist, but it made the most sense because I don't find Heather and Meredith and Lisa to be goody goodies. That's for sure. What were your
Okay, well,
thoughts?
let me. So, a couple things here, dear. You you were having an affair, okay? You were having an affair with not just anybody, your brother-in-law. That is also in the Mormon church. You know how dated things are. What did you expect them to do? Wash your sins away and give you a new pair of white little panty shorts or whatever the little garments are that they wear?
Garments? Mhm. That's just,
I just feel like, what is the issue? Are you what does this have to do with the doll? Why did you feel the need to go down a dark? So this is where I feel like it's a little much sometimes. Like,
yeah,
she she could have made the funny jab about everyone's a goody goody, like it's about forgiveness, except I was excommunicated. It's like, that's funny, but then you put like this big scary A on the doll and made it like this whole thing. Like, well, if you were walking down the pathway with that on, you wouldn't have to warn anybody because all those pioneer women would ignore you.
well, the Scarlet Letter. What can you say? It's,
Wasn't
I
Demi
just,
Moore in the Scarlet Letter?
oh, Jesus, I don't
I think she
remember.
was. Fantastic movie, by the way.
It is a good movie. It's very sad that I immediately think of Easy A with Emma Stone and
That's
Amanda
a good one
Bynes.
too.
Yeah. Well, they sit down for lunch, and yet again, Meredith is still going. How with the churning, her biceps. My
I'm
God.
telling you, or at least
My
that
God.
one. Did she switch
She
arms at least?
that is exactly
I really was worried about that. I was like, you're gonna really overdo it on the one arm, Meredith, and then the other one's gonna be all like not as defined.
to me like the
I
rock on
really
one
do. I need to
side.
go back and watch to see if like perhaps someone please tell me that she was alternating.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe she's just a right-hander. So in confessional, Lisa says regarding the lunch, I'm only a quarter of the way through the Book of Mormon, but I'm pretty sure there's no mention of cornbread, mac and cheese, and ribs. Look, Lisa, you got to let us know. Did you get three-fourths of the way through, or are you all the way through? And I think maybe life would have been a lot more enjoyable for the pioneers if they did have the mac and cheese and all of that.
That spread, I was like, oh, if that's what a Mormon brunch looks like, then sign me up. Give me my
Yes.
bonnet, give me my jar of butter. I will
Mhm.
shake the shit out of that butter if I can eat this. Because that looks good, actually. I'm not gonna lie. The ribs, especially, I was like, wow.
And those funeral potatoes.
Can you tell I'm starving? I am
Yeah, I am
so
too.
hungry.
Same, babe. Always hungry. But I think Lisa was only saying that because she was pissed she had to keep wearing everything and didn't want to
Yeah,
have to keep
I'm
playing
sure that
along.
gets old. It's like, can I just wear my clothes? I don't want to be a
I have a whole
caricature.
look. I this is why I have a stylist.
Yeah,
I'm
it's like a
glad.
waste of money and outfit when you have to put all these other weird things on.
Yeah. They don't do costumes this much on other franchises, so it's intense.
They really overdid it this season.
Yeah, truly. Heather wants to play the Oregon Trail game, except she's calling it the Mormon Pioneer game. And she asks who they would throw off of their wagon because it has too much weight. And why didn't you just flat out go ahead and come out with it? Who do you trust here the least?
I
Um,
pretty much.
May as well have. So Lisa says, well, I'm a big supporter of women, so I would keep everyone, but the one that's the nastiest to women. So, Monica, you would have to go just because you're mouthy and mean to women.
Shots fired. The way you speak to women is horrible.
So, you're off of my pioneer wagon and you're going to drown in the Oregon Trail River. Sorry, Monica. I didn't give you dysentery.
You know what? I how can you not love that? How? How is that not golden?
The Monica's like, oh my God, you are so nasty. And Lisa says, no, I'm not. I'm honest. There's a difference. You're not honest. You're just nasty. Here's the problem. Monica has spent too much time fighting with LD and her, and I mean this in the literal sense, her immature daughters. When she puts on the voice of someone else being like that, I know you are, but what am I? Voice, I don't like that style of fighting. It would drive me
So
freaking nuts.
is that not what all you're seeing from her though when she is fighting? It's that like it is what Lisa Barlow said. It's like your mama jokes. Like you're old, you're this. Like it's always these like superficial jabs. It's not really constructive arguing or even like it just sounds like someone who's just like, meh.
Mm, it
Eh.
sounds, it's sounds, see, Tay Tay the Savior says she would have thrown Monica off the wagon as well. I guess Lisa's not the only
Listen,
one.
if she was hooting and hollering like she was at that Pioneer brunch, I would have had to do the same.
I, you
Can't
know,
deal with all these chickens and cattle and you're screaming.
so then Lisa says, you like my voice so much, you like to use it all the time. I love that. And Monica then goes, I hate your voice so much. Actually, it's really annoying. I don't think that's your real voice, to be honest.
Okay. Thank you, Monica.
They agree that they're not real friends. So,
Okay.
I mean, wow. Isn't that interesting? I,
Shocking.
I, I love it when they tell us something that we didn't already know. You know what I mean? Uh, and then Heather's just kind of like, oh my God, this was supposed to be where they make amends. And she says in confessional that, Lisa was supposed to be making amends with Monica here too. That's why she tried to have that conversation with her beforehand. And Heather says, and she opens with, you're nasty to women. Couldn't she have opened with something a little softer? Like, we're scared you'll sleep with our brother in law. Is there something we can come back from? What's wild is that in this situation is considered something you can come back from.
That's what I thought in the moment. I was like, oh, you can come back from that? That's pretty, like, also harsh.
That's like, wow. So
Cool.
Monica's telling Lisa she's nasty. It's nasty that she commented on someone's parents not wanting them. And she tells her, the real nasty bitch here is you. And Lisa goes, you called your mom Ted Bundy, and anyone that would talk about your mother like that will never be your friend. But Monica won't stop talking over her. And it's like, just shut up for a second. Let Lisa get her word in, and then you might have an even better comeback at the end of it than you did when you were talking over her. That type of thing drives me nuts when these housewives are going at it. Let the other speak.
Well, it's
Monica
not
knows how
allowing them
to
to
do it.
get it doesn't allow for them to get their sound bites in clearly either. That's why you see them sometimes being like, Whitney was like, stop. Like, you literally are going to
Yeah.
make us have to sit here and redo this if you don't, because they're not going to get the audio.
Well, and that's the thing too. That's the other thing.
It's the production side too, I feel, with that stuff too.
Because the way the women, aside from them telling her to stop, and that's a good point for that reason, I think there was so much more said for it to then end up being where Heather is like, why are you crying right now? Like, where you were just going in on her. They left again, it's like Greek Easter. They left a huge chunk out, and you cannot tell me they didn't. There's no
Oh,
way.
1000% they did. It's
Yeah.
always like that, I feel like lately, with these episodes that involve Monica and like, well, yeah, Monica. I feel like there's a lot of stuff cut out randomly.
Yeah. We could have had a much shorter version of the podcast episode. We could have had a much shorter lunch with Angie and Whitney.
Yes.
Give us what actually was said, is really where we're going with this. Because, like, the most we're getting here is, Lisa telling Monica about Ted Bundy. He used to kill people, have sex with them, decapitate them, and eat them. And then we get Whitney in confessional. I'm not up to date on all my serial killer facts, but I'm pretty sure it was Jeffrey Dahmer that ate people, not Ted Bundy.
Totally.
Got it. And Monica's saying to Lisa, it makes sense that you'd like the fakest one because fake likes fake. Because again, the worst, but when she said that, did you see Meredith's face? Meredith
Meredith
just
is
kind of
giving
goes,
a lot of face, and I
ooh.
love it. This season, it's been a lot of face.
It has, because the new face looks fantastic. She literally looks like a walking Facetune filter, and it looks amazing. Okay. Look, I would love
I want
to.
it. I want.
I do too. I'm like, I'm
I'm
not
not
going to
gonna
deny it.
lie.
I would love to be able to make my face an actual Facetune filter. Like, I don't know how you do that. What surgeon do you go to? And you're like, hey, this is the filter I want. I know it happens all the time, but you know what I'm saying?
Meredith
Monica,
Marks will probably tell you if you asked.
well, and I probably couldn't afford it if she could.
No, I wouldn't be able to unless they took
Mm-mm.
payment plans.
Well, payment plans in Utah haven't been turning out so well for everyone.
For Monica, not so much, but other people that do pay their payments on time,
Correct. Mhm.
just
Uh-huh. Monica ends up saying to Lisa, you are nasty on the inside. You are so ugly. I hate liars. There's nothing uglier than a liar. And that's like you said, Heather's saying to Monica, bring it down. And same with Whitney. And finally, Angie throws her glass and yells, Opa! I kind of just felt bad for the staff who had to clean up the glass. I don't know if someone was like behind the camera going, somebody do something, but y'all been breaking fourth walls left and right. Why not do it?
No, the producer's standing there looking at people like,
Yeah,
hi.
do something.
No one's getting any more food until we get something started.
Something we can actually use.
Yeah.
Monica ends up comparing in confessional that dealing with this is like dealing with her mom, where the other person can say awful and nasty, hurtful things, but they're never in the wrong when they're doing it. And this is that part where Heather pulls Monica aside, tells her to bring her butter, and asks her, she's like, are you crying? Why are you crying? Now, I think in this moment, Monica was having some sort of visceral reaction to being so pissed off, and whatever else we missed, I don't think this moment, right? Like when I say this moment, as in this 2 minute period in the span of the filming minutes, was the moment of trying to gain sympathy. I think the following time after that, she needed to rein it in. Now, I don't know. Sometimes when I am really mad, I freaking hate it, but I start crying. And it's like the worst feeling because I'm like, I'm not wanting you to see me crying. I am an angry person right now. I think that's where it started. And then it just devolved because something was said. I think Monica must have gone so far and so low by saying something not okay. And she knew it. Does that make sense? Because her behavior afterward was like, what the hell? You're always giving
So,
it and getting it. Why are you now not able
because
to?
something I believe either Lisa Barlow said something that was pertaining to something legal from her past,
Mm,
allegedly, listen, if you're gonna go on, my thing is this: if you're gonna go on, you're gonna run that mouth of yours, and someone runs it back to you. Do not play the fucking victim game.
right,
That gets under my skin.
right.
But I don't think the way they cut that up, it looked as if though she got that way after that little exchange. But it's like,
Which there's no
could
way.
you not have layered in something else? Because even Heather's annoyance with her, you can tell they were done with her at that point. So something else happened.
Had to have, because it just, from the audience perspective, it didn't make sense. It
No.
didn't make sense. Like, because we see Monica take a lot in and
Yes.
she dishes a shit ton out. But for you to not be able to take that was very confusing. It just was. So, editors, we're not saying, just make it a little more clear. Quit cutting out so much. I know you need to leave some of the meat at the end of the episode, but this portion only lasted about 4 minutes max on our screens. And I was shocked when I looked at the time and saw that that's where it was at.
I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing pieces to this puzzle play out towards the latter part of the season when things become
Mm.
unveiled.
You know what? That's a great point. When they do like never before seen.
Or no, they do flashbacks.
Yeah,
When
that's
they
what
want to chip. Sometimes they've been showing us flashbacks from scenes we've seen, but not that particular part that was edited out.
Mhm. Right.
So I feel like something's a brewing. I'm just not sure how Heather plays into this and why the whole thing is just perplexing. There's something
She,
else going on outside of the storyline that's happening on the show. That's what I feel.
yeah, yeah. Lisa goes over and apologizes to Monica, and still Monica barely even takes the apology because Lisa's like, hey, listen, if you need for me to acknowledge that your mom's not nice to you, I'm sorry. And by me saying I saw her being nice does not mean I negate any of your feelings. Is that where I missed? And I felt like that was a pretty decent apology. Okay.
That's more than I would have given.
Yeah. After what Monica had just said, and all Monica goes, I don't know. I'm just going to apologize for saying you were ugly. I didn't mean that. That's all you're giving back to her?
See, this is why
After
I
you just
don't.
bitched about her not giving
I,
you anything the last episode?
I would have given Monica her props if in that moment she would have actually sealed the deal with Lisa to move forward. Do your job. Stop picking a fight with the one person the entire season.
Mhm.
Move it around, Monica. It can't just be like Linda and Lisa.
That's a fair point too. Spread it out, honestly. Um, did you notice meanwhile, Heather's just behind them with this look on her face? The butter.
Meredith.
Heather
Was
is behind them.
Heather still shaking too?
Yes, and she's got her, you know
Oh
how
my
Heather
gosh. Did they I hope they made some butter
they
after all of
better
that.
it was probably cottage cheese by the end of it.
Oh my god. At least Meredith's for sure was cottage cheese. She didn't stop
Easily.
shaking that thing till they
Mm-mm.
wrapped. She probably took it home and kept shaking it on the way home too.
Yeah. Again, poor Seth. So Heather tells them that the place they go sit down. She tells them that the place settings are actually invitations to go to a passport required location. And she's trying to hype everyone up, especially Monica, who is literally just sitting there pouting.
Mm.
And Heather's like, so why would a seashell be important? And you can see the wheels turning in Whitney's head. She's like, oh, I know this one. We're having a clam bake or
We're going to
mac
the
and cheese with the
ocean.
shell noodles. We're all a shell of the person we used to be. Oh, Sally sells seashells by the seashore because we're going to the ocean. She really thought.
Ah.
She really thought. The funniest part to me, though, was when they're all getting excited, and Heather's like, yes, where do they have pink sand beaches? And Lisa is the one who goes, Bermuda. And Monica goes,
Bermuda.
oh my gosh, you're the smartest one here.
Yeah, because I've been to Bermuda. John Barlow takes me there a lot. I
And
love
my
their pink
plan goes with me to
beaches.
Bermuda.
We usually stay
So,
at Sandals Resort.
um, hey, I would stay at Sandals. Heather tells them that Monica about how she used to always go with her grandmother and how there's a huge Portuguese community. And she's like, Monica, tell them why there's this tiny skull. And Monica is still pouting so hard because we're all going home to hell, to Devil's Triangle, where we all belong. And she just keeps crying. And do you notice she like had the bottom of her bonnet?
Girl, these are rented. You can't do that.
Don't get that mascara on there.
These are not ours, guys. Stop rubbing your makeup on them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Then Monica's basically like saying she doesn't want to go on the trip. She doesn't think it's a good idea to go. Again, this more leans to what your thought was that maybe Lisa brought up something she did not want getting out. And Heather again points out, you were just coming full force at Lisa, and now you're crying and acting like we all just came at you. And in confessional, Monica's like, I always really wondered why Jen never had anything nice to say about Heather and Lisa. And now I know exactly why. And Heather's just kind of like saying to her, too, like, we're going to have fun. Where is that Monica? That fun Monica and the Monica we had 15 minutes ago.
Because she's too up and down. And I think something was said that
Mhm.
scared the living daylights out of her. Because here's the thing, and I know we're closing out the episode
Mhm.
of Salt Lake, but like there's no people will find whatever. You don't think that these women did their research of you, especially because of your ties to Jen Shaw? They're
Mhm.
not dumb. And Lisa Barlow has 7 lawyers, if we haven't learned. So you don't think that she had her lawyers scan Monica and make sure she knew what she was going to be working with? Of course she did. And so did everyone else on that cast. They may not admit to it, but they
Mhm.
did.
Yes, sir.
Sorry. And if Monica's going to believe things that Jen Shaw, who lied to,
Of all people.
I mean, come on, really? Imagine, though, what she said about Monica.
Of all people, Jen Shaw. Yeah. Honey, if they talk shit to you to that extent,
Imagine what
and
they say about you.
exactly. You know, they're the friends that you can tell who will talk shit about anyone and everyone. That's Jen Shaw. Um, aside from that, Monica's like replies to Heather, y'all killed her real quick. She's dead. Like Taylor Swift said. Again, Monica, you've been around your little girls too much.
No, it's
When it
you thought you
comes
were gonna
to
be so cute with this whole like Taylor. She's
right.
dead. It's like,
But then Lisa, the way Lisa goes, what?
why are you dead?
What? Who's dead?
Oh, Taylor Swift. I
Oh
get it.
God. And next week,
Groundbreaking.
right, groundbreaking. Next week, Whitney and Lisa get into it, which helps explain the divide, doesn't it? Mm-hmm.
Y'all have to give it to Lisa Barlow though. She takes it on she's been taking it since she's
She
gotten
does.
on this damn show, man.
You know
Love
I
her or
love
hate
Lisa
her,
Barlow.
she knows how to play this game. I'll give her that.
Mm-hmm. I love me some Lisa Barlow. I don't care what anyone thinks. I love her. Um, well, my friends, I just want to say to all of you besties, I'm so grateful for you and thankful. Not to be all cheesy, but I really am. Giorgio and and when I'm not with Giorgio, I show up every week for y'all because again, we're doing this for you and also partly for myself because I just enjoy talking about all of it so much. But Giorgio, I'm so thankful for you and I hope everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Super thankful for you and thankful for everyone in the chat because I recognize all of you. That's
Mhm.
how long we've been doing this, Caitlin. No, I really am. I'm really thankful for our friendship, for our collaboration. Thankful that we got to actually meet up and hang out for more than just a day. And it
Mhm.
was just nice. And I'm really looking forward to having a couple days to just kind of unwind and decompress
Mhm.
from everything that's happened so far. And then finish out strong, head into 2024, which is just right around the corner. Hello.
Hello is right. And don't you know these Bravo Lebs don't let us relax? Listen,
No.
I'm
Let's
going to
put
tell you what.
every show on at the same time all the way through Christmas.
If Dorit and PK decide to announce some sort of divorce or separation during Thanksgiving, I'm going to throw my shoe at a wall. Not where children are present, though. And then I'm
Please
not going to
don't,
fall
or
down a
you
set of
won't be
stairs.
invited to my Easter brunch.
And that is the hottest ticket in town. So you better believe I will keep my shoes on, okay? Unlike I did in the casino when my feet were killing me when we were in Vegas. Yep, you heard that right.
You weren't the only one. There was a lot of ladies walking around barefoot, and rightfully so. That is the hardest place to be walking. That is not set up for you guys to be successful in your heels. God bless
No,
you.
my
Not at
feet were
all.
bleeding 3 days later when
And
I
there's
got home from
nothing
it.
you can do to prevent that type of
No.
like scenario. It doesn't matter
Mm,
how many Dr. Scholl's little gummy things you stick in the front of your shoe. That
mm-mm.
somewhere your shoe's gonna find a knife and stab the living crap out of your feet hours into your dinner.
It's amputation or nothing. That's about it. That's all you have left. And on that note, I hope I hope y'all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Please leave a cute little review because it costs nothing and means so much. And enjoy that Thanksgiving. Subscribe, do all the likes, and stick around. Well, not stick around. Join us next week. I will have Giorgio back on Thursday, and then I have another special guest joining me to do another live like immediately after it. So you better not be sick of seeing this face and hearing this
Ooh,
voice.
booked and busy.
Yes, honey. Not as busy as Giorgio.
I'm
Be
not,
sure to go look up
God
Giorgio on Good
willing.
Day DC. Our Giorgio was on Good Day DC, our celeb and pop culture expert. I was so proud of you. I still
I had to
am.
send Jeff to the grocery store. I was like, I can't be out there today. I'm joking. I'm joking. No, it was such an
You get recognized.
I was very it was it was such an amazing experience. So, and thanks to everybody that sent me messages and were watching. Actually, it was funny. There was someone that coworker of mine randomly, I hadn't talked to in like 6 years. She was at the dentist and they had, I guess, Fox 5 on, and she was texting me at the dentist. Is like, "You're on the show. I'm in the dentist office. What's happening?"
I sure
So,
am. You better hide that face in a safe way because
oh, please.
they're coming for you.
Oh,
Sure.
have to get a bodyguard now. No.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm excited. Next Thursday we'll be recapping. We'll be back to normal schedule and then until Christmas, and then that'll throw a wrench in things. And then we'll be back to normal schedule for real in January.
Yes. And then there's no break for anyone ever
Nope.
again.
Nope.
No more. All right, my friends, we will see you next week. Enjoy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.